In the village of Vaini and Tongatapu, the High Chief Ma'afu was holding a whono with all of his warriors and his matapule. And while they were deep in discussions, a javelin or a sika was thrown in the midst of their meeting. Who would dare throw a spear into the middle of a meeting of the great Chief Ma'afu? And lo and behold, they looked out and it was his own sons. And these two young chiefs were Ma'afulele and Ma'afatoka. Now, as they grew up, the villagers became more and more terrified because these two boys had more energy than sense. They would go about wreaking havoc everywhere they went. One of the villagers would go to Ma'afu and complain and say, look, your sons have just come in and wrecked our house. They have taken things that are not theirs. They have threatened and even beaten up people who were visitors to the village. So they became a real source of shame and embarrassment for our village because nobody could do anything. After all, they were the sons of the High Chief and they were very, very feared. After a while, Ma'afu became very, very concerned. Every day he would get people complaining about his sons and about their behavior. So one day Ma'afu had enough and he told the boys, okay, I want you to do two tasks for me. One of you, Ma'afulele, will go to the stream down the road called Telefonu. I want you to bring some water from the bottom of the stream, right from the deepest part of the stream. So Ma'afulele went there, but as soon as he stooped down to get the water, a huge triggerfish came up and almost swallowed him. Luckily, he was able to brace himself against one part of the wall of the rock and shove his hand right into the fish and kill it. He dragged that fish back with him to the village, very pleased and happy with himself, and took it to Ma'afu. Meanwhile, Ma'afu had sent his other brother to another stream on the other side of the village called Pakilau. The brother went there and he heard a rustling behind the bushes. And sure enough, this giant wild duck, or we call it a toloa, came and started to attack him. It was pecking at him and he got a few stab wounds, but he was able to grab it by the neck and snap its neck. He dragged the carcass of the bird home and brought it to Ma'afu, very pleased of himself. Ma'afu was very sad and he owned up to the boys that he'd actually sent them to these two places for these animals to kill them because he was very upset and despondent about what happened in the village and all the complaints he was getting. The boys, out of pity for their father, said, we will leave this place. You will never see our physical form again. But if you look into the night sky, you will see the outline of the triggerfish and you'll see the outline of the toloa, or the giant wild duck, which is the Southern Cross. If you look up in the skies, it's the Tongan name for the Southern Cross. These are the two constellations that Tongans to this day still use for navigational purposes around the open ocean. One of the valuable lessons for parents, and this is certainly what happened with Ma'afu, is that he possibly could have intervened earlier. So when the villagers first came and complained, he could have made the boys learn from there. But that's a lesson for us as parents. Intervene early, don't leave it too late. These are stories that will always set the path right for you and for future generations. Mahalo, tuao whātu.